This stops 90% of beginner wholesalers from getting their very first deal. What's up, YouTube? Biz Matthew here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what is that one thing, or what are multiple things that stops beginners from getting their very first wholesale deal, and what are the main things you should be doing in order to get your very first wholesale real estate deal. All right, you all, before we go on, make sure you all subscribe. A lot of you all watch my videos but are not subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, so the very first thing that I see a lot of wholesalers avoid, especially in their beginning stage, is that they forget and they don't concentrate on the follow-ups. Now, follow-ups are where you get 80 to 90% of your wholesale real estate deals. So recently I interviewed Reed and Joseph about getting their very first wholesale deal. I'll try to put a link somewhere up here or in the show notes down below, but you all, their story was amazing. It showed their endurance, their consistency, and their perseverance in finding and getting and closing their very first wholesale deal. In that story, their very first wholesale deal came from a follow-up from over a year ago. They had to follow up with the seller for about a year in order to close on this real estate deal. So you all, I'm not saying that it should take you all a full year to close your very first deal, but it shows that their deals are coming from follow-ups, and they were just talking about their other deals they've been closing, and most of them been deals that they've been following up with the seller for a couple of months or more. So you all, don't forget follow-up. If there's some interest in the seller, pick a time every month, every 2 weeks to call and to follow up with a particular seller. And I know it's hard for wholesalers to just concentrate on the leads that they have, because you hear this video from this guru telling you to pull this list or to do this strategy in your wholesaling business. But all you need to do is concentrate on the leads that you currently have and find a way to close with them. What are those deals? What can you do in order to bring them closer to that closing table and just close the deal? So make sure you follow up. A key way to make sure you don't be like the 90% of wholesalers who give up and don't get their very first deal is have a good CRM system, or a good way to keep your leads organized in order for you to be reminded every time you need to follow up with leads. Because a lot of times your leads can be mixed up with all the other leads, or it can be lost in your leads. So make sure you find a way, especially with leads with interest, to put them in a CRM system or some sort of system in order for you to know exactly when you're going to follow up with this person and all their contact information. So that's number one, make sure you follow up. The next thing I see what's stopping a lot of beginner wholesalers from getting their very first wholesale deal is that they don't concentrate on talking in front of people, getting in front of people. They want to be so hands-off from the very beginning that they're missing the most important part, which is being extremely hands-on and being close to the seller, being close to the buyer, putting your face out there. So get in front of people and call them, whether you call them because they called a postcard, or they called your phone number off of a PPC lead, or you're cold calling them. Whichever way, make sure you call and talk to that seller, talk to that buyer. Just get in front of people in this industry. The other thing with regards to concentrating on what makes money, what actually moves the needle in order for you to get your first deal, is to document your journey. I think it's so important to document your journey, whether that's on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, so other investors, other wholesalers know what you're doing and that you're actively working in this business. You know, by me having this video, I've been able to connect with a few investors around the area, especially wholesalers, some landlords, and they recognize that, you know, I'm on this journey with them, I'm on this real estate journey. And I think that can open a lot of doors for deals, for maybe partnerships in the future. So make sure you're not one of the 90% of wholesalers who don't get their first deal, and make sure you put yourself out there, get in front of sellers, buyers, other wholesalers, title companies, and all people relating to real estate investing. The third thing I want to talk about, what stops 90% of wholesalers from getting their very first deal, is their inconsistency. So being consistent is key in this industry, because like I talked about, your follow-up, you have to be consistent with your follow-up, and that relates to consistency. The other thing is that you won't see the fruit of your labor until further down the road, right? That's why it's so important just to trust the system, trust the process, and be consistent, right? The lead that you're calling right now or today may not close until 6 months down the road, right? Just like going back to that interview before, right? So if you're not consistent, you won't be able to follow up, you won't be able to see the end in mind. So just like you're working out, when you work out initially, you don't lose a ton of weight the first day, the first week, or even the first month. You see your progress over multiple months, over multiple years. In the same way, you'll see that in your wholesaling business. So principle wins in consistency. So for example, the amount of cost equals this amount of leads, this amount of contacts. The other thing about consistency I want to talk about is just having a mindset of not giving up. Train the mind not to do that. So for me, one way that I did that was just simple things like, for example, I may go a month just making sure I wash every dish, not have any dish in the sink or something like that. Like something that you can challenge yourself not to give up on something. And it can be something so small like that, but it trains your mind to not give up on things, even though you don't see any progress along the way, especially initially in the beginning, right? That's the compound effect of things. So make sure you all challenge yourself to things. Maybe don't drink soda for the month and you'll see the change after a month or two. Or making sure you just always put your dirty clothes in your hamper and you don't keep it on the floor or whatnot. You make sure you have a place, because I really think these little things translate to bigger things, especially in your real estate investing journey. The other few things I want to talk about is just investing in yourself. I think it's so important to invest in either courses, mentorship, different tools and softwares that help your business. So for example, prop stream. If you all are interested in prop stream, check the link down below with my link. You get a 7 free day trial, and it really helps support this channel. Look at all my other videos of me closing deals, going to title companies, and other things like that. All right, you all, comment down below, what do you think is stopping you, first of all, with closing your first wholesale deal? I would like to know down below so I can see if there's any way I can help, either making a video about it or Instagram post. Whether you're saying, hey, the market's so competitive, prices are super high, the sellers are not aware of their as is value, they're just looking at Zillow. Whatever your situation is, I would love to know down below in the comments, so make sure you comment that down below. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure once again to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you all later.